Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here, this time doing another episode review for Spidey-tember, and this one is on Market Forces. Now, as you know, Market Forces is the fourth episode of Season 1 of Spectacular Spider-Man, and is meant to feature Shocker, who is instead meant to be Montana, instead of Herman Schultz. And the premise of the episode is meant to feature how, after the events of the last episode, we see how Peter has kind of ruined his friendship with Gwen. We do kind of see how Eddie does want him to kind of let him take time to cool off. And we do kind of see how Peter is torn by responsibility as well as personal items. I think what's interesting is the episode does serve as a bit of a moral and a message about deciding what's best, as well as thinking what's more important. And I think the way I see it is meant to be a parallel between Peter and Harry. Like, you can tell Peter chooses between getting a new camera or giving the money to Aunt May to pay for the bills. We see Peter taking the responsibility to give Aunt May the money for the bills. We kind of see how Harry picks between studying by himself and trying to be independent over getting Peter to help him. We see how his father kind of leeches onto him and gives him his own advice. I think the difference is Peter was meant to realise it, while Harry was kind of meant to be a bit more sort of taking under the wrong wing by Norman Osborn. And I think I like the idea that Montana is pretty much the series version of the Shocker, because one, it's kind of shown as well that it's implied at least that Hammerhead feels like Montana's more of the competent leader and can get the job done. And I think it's also shown as well Montana is a bit more capable of using the Shocker suit than Herman Schultz was. And I think it's also interesting how in Spider-Man Homecoming, you do have both Montana and Herman Schultz taking on the mantle of Shocker, only differently. And I think it's also interesting as well, I feel, is how you do have a kind of armoured Tricorp truck with guards. And for those who don't know, Tricorp was also in the Amazing Spider-Man comics as another kind of Oscorp-like company. And I think I like the idea that you can tell Peter does try to still do the right things, but I think after the last episode, you do see him trying to finally do the right things, showing that, while Peter can be a screw-up, I think he's a screw-up who does want to do the right things, but only just needs the motivation and kind of help realising it, which is kind of a realistic thing. So I think this episode definitely deserves a thumbs up. Much better than the last one, and definitely a good start. So, comic reviewer here, signing out.